Hi everyone, how you doing? So I thought I would go live. Why not? Quite like this live thing. I'm just going to adjust the camera. Bear with me a second. Hey. So I've got my laptop down there and I want to be able to kind of see what you guys write. I'm going to give it 5-10 minutes before I get started, just in case any of you are out there and you want to join in. I think there's one person already. I've got a few things to talk about, but you'll see from the title it's 6 questions, 6 answers. So I thought, why not do it now? So if anyone's online, feel free to drop me a comment in the next 5-10 minutes. If not, I'm just going to rack on and do the 5 questions, 5 answers, speak to any of you that pop in, and it saves me having to edit a video later, really. So first of all, that time of year, as always, we've got, get them out, seed catalogues. I love getting seed catalogues. These are my new ones. Thompson & Morgan came to you the other day. I do like Thompson & Morgan a lot, simply because it's the one that when I first started gardening, I always got Thompson & Morgan, and I've just kind of stuck ever since. But I also use it loads of companies really now, but I do like Thompson & Morgan. They do some really good offers as well. You find that you spend like 20 quid with Thompson & Morgan, and when you get to the checkout, they're like, you can add a fruit bush for £1 or add a tree for £5, and pretty good actually. But this is really cool, just because obviously graphic designer and I'm an illustrator and I love all this stuff. Check out that. I love drawing vegetables. These aren't mine. I don't know who's drawn these. Doesn't say. But that is a cool seed catalogue. I really like that. I mean, I think I might even keep this on the bookshelf afterwards. It's really good. Hi everyone, how you doing? Nick's allotment. I don't know who else is here. Just going to check the laptop again. Yeah, so obviously I've only got 360 subs, I think it is. I wasn't expecting a load of people to be online. And I just thought, well, I've been nominated by Brian at Allotment Live to do the 6 questions, 6 answers. So I thought, why not do it live? It saves me editing it, and I get to do another live. And I quite like these live ones. I think it's just there's a lot more that can go wrong. You've got to think a little bit more about what you say because you can't edit it out. So I'll try not to swear. I don't swear much, but you know, occasionally the odd one slips out, I suppose. I have a bottle of Jack Daniels just in case, just to in case the nerves take hold. Okay, first question then. Best crop of 2018. Best crop of 2018 for me was probably the sweet corn, and just simply because it was probably the best ever crop of sweet corn I've ever had. Emergency JD, yeah. I have shot glass. I forgot to pour myself one there. So yeah, the sweet corn. The sweet corn was the best crop. It was the best crop of sweet corn I've ever had. And we love sweet corn in our house. Well, I love sweet corn, and my son loves sweet corn. My daughter, she's pretty good with sweet corn. And it's one of those nice things that it just tastes so much better when you get it in than when you get it in the shops. And that was epic. And I had 2 crops, and they were slightly staggered, simply because one crop got hit with a frost and it died back a bit. So they come along about, I think it was 4 weeks later. So that worked quite well. So I didn't have a glut of sweet corn. I had some sweet corn, had a break from sweet corn, and then I had more sweet corn, which was awesome. Secondly to that was probably the biggest pumpkin I've ever grown, which you all saw it in my videos. It was, you know, that sort of size compared to my head, and I've got quite a large head. So I was dead chuffed with that pumpkin, and we carved it for Halloween, and then we had put it in the garden for the squirrels and stuff, and it's only just now rotted down to like a pulp. That's how big it was. That's how like thick the walls were. So yeah, that was probably my best crop of 2018, the pumpkin and sweet corn. As for worst crop was probably the beetroot. Do you know what? I'm actually going to pour myself a Jack Daniels now. There you go. Just so I can feel myself getting a dry throat. That's the excuse. So yeah, the worst crop was probably the sweet corn, the beetroot. Jack Daniels, forgot where I am. Was probably the beetroot, simply because I didn't take care of it. It was my own fault. We don't eat a lot of beetroot in the house. I like beetroot. I like it raw, boiled, pickled, whatever, but no one else really likes it. And my other half always jokes that beetroot, no matter what you put it in, it just takes the flavour away from anything else. She says you could make a curry and put one beetroot in it and all you can taste is beetroot, so she hates beetroot like that. So I put a few seeds in. I put them next to my carrots and my spring onions, and I thought if I get a few beetroot that's fine, and I literally got no beetroot. And then we had caterpillars get at it, slugs get at it, and in the end I gave it to the chickens. So worst crop was beetroot, but it was my fault. It wasn't the beetroot's fault. So I apologise to the beetroot community. I know I let you down. Sorry guys. Okay. Lessons learned. Probably the biggest lesson I learned last year was to not be a miser when it comes to mulching with no dig. I scrimped a bit on some of my beds. Obviously, for various reasons, it's hard for me to get heavy things down the allotment. And my scooter, my Maximo, it does really well at towing a little trailer. Probably take, I don't know, 60 litres of compost. But to do no dig properly, I probably need maybe a ton, 2 ton of mulch to really put a thick layer around plants and smother all the weeds and everything else. And I didn't do that on some of the beds, and I got quite a few weeds and I got quite a few nettles poking through, which I've got to deal with again this year. And to be perfectly honest, again, that was my own fault. I should have got more mulch. So this year, and I've actually spoke to the person tonight, I'm buying some straw off a farmer that I know. So I'm going to be mulching a lot this year with straw. One, it's cheap. Obviously, you get more for your weight, if that makes sense. So I can just about manage a bale, and I can roll a bale, down to the allotment. And I can put big thick layers of straw around everything, and then obviously over the winter it'll rot down and go back into the soil. So yeah, a lot more straw going down the allotment this year. Not hay. To people that don't know, don't use hay, because hay's got a load of seeds in it from the grass, so you're just going to put seeds on your plot. And don't get me wrong, you keep mulching, you kill the seeds off, but it's best not to use the hay in the first place. It's not the end of the world if you do use the hay, but try not to get all those seeds in there, because just kind of making work for yourself. So more straw down the allotment, and lesson learned, mulch more and don't be tight with the mulch. Okay. Biggest challenge of 2018. This is a tough one actually. I've thought about all these questions before I went live. I thought save me going ooh. So I've prompted myself with this, and my biggest challenge is probably committing to the chickens. I know that sounds strange, to commit to the chickens. We're not having a union of holy matrimony, me and the chickens. There's no civil ceremony going on, but to have chickens on an allotment, I think, is a big commitment. As I've talked about lots of times, you've got to go down there, you've got to put the effort in. I don't like to leave my chickens any more than 3 days, absolute max. So I'm normally down there every other day, and for me that's a big commitment, especially because the way my weird condition is, that some days I literally feel terrible. In which case, luckily I got friends and family who, you know, on my other half can go down there and water them, whatever, collect the eggs. My daughter really likes collecting the eggs, and it's kind of a family thing. So worst case scenario, they get left for 3 days, but then on the third day I know I've definitely got to go down there. So that is a big commitment, and that was a challenge. But the whole point behind the chickens was I had chickens. I had chickens years ago at my house, and obviously chickens in your house is really easy because you just kind of open the back door, walk out, lock them in, let them out, feed them, job done really. Whereas if they're down the allotment, my allotment's like a 10-minute drive away. Then you obviously got to unlock the allotment, you got to walk down to your allotment, you got to lock it up again afterwards, you get back to your car, you got to do that in the rain, you got to do that in sleet, you got to do that in the snow, you got to do it when you're cold, you got to do it when you've got the flu, you got to do it when you've got bad stomach, headache, you know, and that's just all for people without disabilities. And obviously me with my condition, I've got all of that on top of some days when it's like really, really hard to walk. And don't get me wrong, I've got the scooter and the scooter days, but there's some days where I don't even want to use the scooter because it's just like flat out on the sofa kind of day. So that was the biggest challenge, but I think it's going all right actually. And they've kind of encouraged me to get out more because I have to get out, because if I don't get out, the chickens will die, and I don't want that on my conscience. So yeah, biggest challenge was committing to the chickens, but you know, we're well into a year now of having the chickens, and I'd quite happily have more, to be honest. If it was if I could afford more food and stuff. I mean, I've got a good number. I've got 4 chickens, 2 cockerels, and they provide all the eggs that we eat and some surplus. And they cost me about £14 every 8 weeks, probably less than that. So, to be perfectly honest, it's win-win. Okay. So I'm just going to read any questions. I've noticed a few comments pop up, so just bear with me a sec. What did I use for mulch this year? Mulch this year, I used some bark, tree shreddings, and I used sawdust, and I used the bedding from the chicken coop. So it was basically whatever I scraped out of the chicken coop got dumped in a pile. This was not the chicken poo itself, it was like the bedding and the floor shavings and stuff, so didn't have to worry about ammonia and things like that. And I used all that, and I also used some newspaper and some cardboard. But the mulch I did last year was like that. It wasn't good enough. It needs to be like that, kind of that level of mulch. So that's the plan. Okay, plans for 2019. I've kind of touched upon this already for those of you that watch my channel. Hi there, how you doing? So I've kind of touched upon this already for those that watch the channel, and I made a video of my plans, so I won't bore you too much with that, because also it helped me out if you jump back into my videos and watch a couple of them, so that'd be awesome. But cutting it short, plans for this year is to extend the chicken run. 3,000%. Oh, that must be the mulch level, 3,000%. Yeah, okay. I think that was right, unless I completely misunderstood that, but okay. Yeah, extend the chicken coop, because in my head, and this gonna sound crazy, do you remember when you were a kid and you had a hamster or a gerbil and you used to have a cage, and then coming off that cage there was like a load of tubes and pipes and pods, and these things looked like the Death Star, and they were awesome, and the hamster could like run around your room and go wherever it wanted to go, and mine always slept in like a pod right up in the corner, which was a real pain in the bum to clean out. I want to do that, but for chickens. So I want a series of runs that are all attached, that go all the way around my allotment, so when I'm not down there, the chickens literally have tunnels and chutes and tubes and things to run down and run through, and they're going to have grass areas and barked areas and sandy areas, and it's going to be awesome for them. So that's the plan. it's not. It's getting there slowly. You've seen the system. I've got one big run, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 side shoots from it. So that's what I want to do with that. So that's the first plan for next year. And oh yeah, more raised beds is the next one, because it's getting harder for me to bend down all the time, and it's becoming a right pain in the bum, to be honest. And if I've got a couple of raised beds that are like, they've got little shelves on the side, and I can sit on them like that, and I can lean and I can potter away, and they're really good. And I've got some raised beds that are a little bit lower, and them I can kind of kneel next to and lean on them like that, and potter away, and they're pretty good. So I want more raised beds, less things in the ground, and more things in raised beds. But obviously, again, goes back to the mulching. The downside of raised beds are you've got to water them more. But if I do no dig raised beds and I mulch them properly, I should be able to combat that. Fingers crossed. Just gonna have another sip of my JD. Merry Christmas, everyone. And a Happy New Year. Who inspired me? This was really hard, because there's lots of people that... Oh, hang on, I got questions. Hang on. It's the problem with using my phone. The questions only stay there for like a few seconds, and it's like, and then they're gone. So I have to look at the laptop, so just bear with me. Will they be able to graze inside the tubes? Yes, they will. Because we've got a fox roaming, I need to put wire all the way around, but that doesn't stop things growing through. And I saw a great video of a guy in Australia who got some very fine gauge welding wire. We're looking like 5mm square, and he'd actually raised that wire about 2 inches. So what's that? 5 centimeters off the floor, so the chickens could walk along it and they could peck it, but they couldn't scratch and dig up the seeds. So what you do, you put this base down, you seed it with grass seed or wildflowers, even kale, cabbage, whatever. The plants will grow and they're perfectly safe because the chickens can't get them. Then all of a sudden they'll get to the area where the chickens can peck them. So the chickens peck them down and they grow up, and they peck them down and they grow up, and it's a constant cycle. And because the chickens can't scratch there, these plants, these flowers, grass, whatever, will keep growing. But and then other areas of the run, I will just put flat chicken wire down to stop the fox digging in, and I will put bark and soil and compost, sand and other things on top, so the chickens can still scratch around. They'll have a pod to scratch in, pod to dust bathe in, and then they'll have a pod with grass and kale and whatever that they can peck at. So that's the idea behind it anyway. It's in my head. I need to do a drawing, really. $3,000%. Oh right, okay, yeah. I've just realised now that 3,000% wasn't anything to do with mulch. It was somebody's name. And yeah, you're spot on, mate. They'll have a nice surface to play around in. Right, who inspired me? Yeah, channel name. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. I know my family and a couple of my best friends, and to be perfectly honest, everyone else is just mate. So yeah, people I've known for years, so I just forget their name. It's like, you right, mate? How you doing? Cheers, pal. Yeah, and then people go, who? Other half will go, who's that? And I'll go, yeah, I used to work with them at such and such, and I have no idea. So yeah, apologies. Anyway, hi there, Alternative Small Holding. Hello, how you doing? So I thought, lost my thread now. Who's inspired me? That's it. Loads of people have inspired me over the last 12 months, and not just gardeners, but loads of people on YouTube. Everything really. I've got other hobbies. I fish. I metal detect when I can. I like to be outside. I like a lot of stuff on history. So I kind of dip in and out of YouTube quite a lot really. Probably use YouTube more than I use actual TV for watching things. I like reality TV, but I'm not talking Love Island and that rubbish. Almost swore there. But I like actual real people that aren't fake and putting it on, going about their business, trying to do things. There's someone I'm watching at the moment who's sailing around the world on a catamaran called Sailing Le Vagabond, and I'm binge watching that on YouTube at the moment, and that's amazing. And there's a guy who's in my fishing club called Stuart Blaw, who has blogged and vlogged every day about fishing for something like 600 days, 700 days. It's a crazy amount, and I think to have that level of commitment to like vlogging and blogging, that's pretty cool. I doff my cap to that man. But as for gardening, one thing that's inspired me the most, and this is going to be completely crazy here, is Dean from Dean's Lost the Plot, because I want to grow a big onion like he's grown. And I don't want to grow a big onion to show, and I don't want to grow a big onion so I can take part in like the local fete and this and the other. I want to grow a big onion because I like eating onions, and I thought to myself, we get through a lot of onions in our house, so if I can like have one onion that lasts me the week, that would be amazing. I've only got to chop one onion, and I can portion it up and stick some in the freezer, and then it's job done. Because the worst part about chopping onions, and this is from someone who used to work in a kitchen many moons ago, and I used to have to peel big 20 kilo sacks of onions, is peeling them. I mean, chopping onions is fine once you get into a groove. Anyone with knife skills, chop an onion, job done. But peeling the little buggers, yeah, that's what I feel about peeling onions. So I thought if I could grow a massive onion, or I could grow 20 massive onions, then I've only got to peel one onion, but I'm getting a whole week's worth of onions. That's like gonna quadruple my productivity. It's amazing. So yeah, so I want to grow some big onions. So I went onto one of the seed websites the other day, and I bought some big onion seeds. Globe, I think they were called, and it says that they can grow to 1 kilo in weight, that's a substantial onion as far as I'm concerned. That's like a whole bag of onions in one onion. And so I'm going to grow a big onion, and I'm completely inspired by Dean for that, because I saw his big onions and was like, wow, I want to grow a big onion. And I've never wanted to grow anything big before like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew the big pumpkin and I was really chuffed about that, but I've never been like focused, I want to grow something big. But now I want to grow a big onion. So that's what's inspired me in 2018, and so I'm going to take that through to 2019. So kind of one of my plans really. Anyway, I'm going to have a sip of my JV, and I will see if there's any questions or comments, so just bear with me a sec. Okay, cheers for the onion tips. Yeah, the plan it would be to, I've no word of a lie, I think onions, I think in like English, British people knock British cooking, but I think our cooking's pretty good, to be honest. People who knock our cooking don't really understand our cooking, and I think we use a lot of onions in things, stew, soups, roast dinners. It goes, I put it in gravy, roast chicken in it. And obviously we're quite open to other cultures' food in Britain. I mean, our second popular dish after fish and chips is curry, and then I believe it's like Chinese food, because we just I think it's what happens when you have an empire. You just kind of like take over the world and then start eating all their food. Yeah, anyway, I digress. So I get through quite a few onions. So using them isn't a problem. Storing them, I'll store them in Tupperware in the fridge, and then I will put some in the freezer. And as for crying with onions, don't get me wrong, if I get a really big strong Spanish onion, sometimes it makes me cry, but like I said, the years of chopping big 20 kg bags of onions for a kitchen and doing it all in one go, I think I've become immune, unless it's a really strong onion. I think that I've done all my crying, and I've probably tore away all the senses in my nostrils, that it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. So yeah, I'm alright when it comes to that. That's right, onions are the base of cooking, and there's so many vitamins in onion. I don't want to get into a whole what's good, what's bad for you kind of thing, because there's much better YouTubers than me talking about health benefits. But yeah, onions, there's like so many vitamins in it, but you just stick one onion in every dish for like your kids. My daughter's, she hates onions, but she doesn't realise that she eats like probably 8 onion every day, because it's in spaghetti bolognese, it's in lasagna, it's in soups, it's in gravies, it's in shepherd's pie, it's in cottage pie, it's in everything you can possibly think of. So yeah, but if you said to her there's onion in that, she'd be like, I only eat pickled onions. But no, so yeah, I love onions. Anyway, one more thing before I disappear, so I don't want to bore you too much. Thank you very much, by the way, for the thumbs up. That really helps. I believe, and don't quote me on this, that the more thumbs up you get, basically YouTube knows that you're like a genuine kind of person, and you're not someone with like a spam account and, you know, uploading dodgy content, so you're more chance of making your way up the list. So I think that's right. I don't know. So I'm told. And I think everyone here subscribes to me, so thank you guys and girls. I appreciate that a lot. But I bought myself a new toy the other day. Never had one of these before, so here we go. And I was nowhere near Gatwick before anyone says anything. I got myself a drone. It's like a Christmas present to myself. It was really, really cheap. On Amazon, these are like 90 quid, £90 English money to anyone who's not from England. That's what a quid is. So yeah, these are like 90 quid. And then our local Argos, which I don't know what the American equivalent is, it's like a catalogue store, they were selling them for £15. So I thought, right, I'm having one of them and I'm going to whiz it around the allotment. I'm going to see if I can get some footage. And I tell you what, considering I can actually fly, I don't know if people realise that, I don't have a pilot's licence, but I can actually fly a plane. I did, long story, watch the videos. So yeah, I can actually fly a plane. This is quite hard, and this was probably more scary than flying a plane. But no, it's I hope I can get some decent aerial shots of the plot, really, and then hopefully I can do some more footage of surrounding area, and you know, should be able to look at my plot from a different light, really. So fingers crossed. I don't know how good the camera is. It's supposed to be all right. It's like 720. Yeah, it's HD camera, so it should be all right. I mean, and at the end of the day, 15 quid. If I put this into my neighbour's pond, or you know, it crashes and burns, or goes sideways into a shed or a wall, I've lost 15 quid. So I think I'll master this first, and then maybe invest in something a bit bigger and better in a year or so's time. So yeah, keep them peeled for some drone footage come spring and summer. That'll be quite nice. I just check the old feed, just bear with me. Oh, see, Nick, you said about it's on a flight path to an airport. From my flying experience, airplanes can't go any lower than 500 foot. And I believe, don't quote me on the drone, definitely airplanes can't go below 500 foot. And I believe drones are only allowed to be within so many feet of an airport. So if it's a flight path and you stay under 500 feet, and to be fair, this footage of your plot would only be like 100 feet, I think you'd be alright. Double check the laws, but I think you're alright. Then again, it might be different, so don't go out there and then say this weird guy on YouTube said I could do it, and that's why I brought down like a Harrier jump jet. So don't quote me on that, all right? Or just in case like Air Force One's going over and you bring down Donald Trump. No, we won't get into politics. You're within 1K of an airport. Get it? No, that's fair enough then. No, you can't fly a drone. Just saw that one of the first jobs was picking mushrooms. That's quite a cool job actually. I'd quite like to do that. I'd quite to learn what mushrooms to pick so you could eat more stuff from the wild. But they always say that if there's any doubt, there is no doubt. So only pick if you're 100% sure. Because as the saying goes, all mushrooms are edible, but some are only edible once. So yeah, something to think about. What am I doing for New Year? The same thing I do every year since I've had kids, and it's sit over there on that sofa with some of this, maybe one or two of those, and watch Jules Holland's Hootenanny, and enjoy the music and shout at the TV because I think Jules Holland is a bit of a brat. But yeah, I just don't go out anymore. To be perfectly honest, I couldn't think of anything worse than being in a pub with a group of strangers and people you don't really like, spending ridiculous amounts of money drinking just so you can dance around to them at Old Lang Syne at the end. I used to when I was younger. Well, New Year was obviously amazing, but no, couldn't think of anything worse. We'll just have takeaway or get some nice food in. Kids will go to bed at a reasonable hour, like I said, and that'll be it. Sometimes I won't even stay up till midnight. I'll just go to sleep. I don't know how true this is, but I watched the thing on no I didn't. I listened to a thing on the radio today, and it said that in the UK, I don't know if this is the same all over the world, but in the UK, less people, something like a third of the people, are not doing New Year as to what were doing it 10 years ago. And apparently pubs and nightclubs are actually seeing profits fall from what they were 10 years ago. And I can well believe that because it's just crap. It really is. I mean, how can you explain it? It's just overhyped and it's all about money and I mean sometimes pubs charge you like £10 just to get into them, and it's not right. Pubs are supposed to be free to get into, and no, I just don't buy into it anymore. But I will celebrate it, but in my own little weird kind of way. I'm not completely boring. I was out in the pub with some friends the other night. It was really nice actually. Pheasant in Wellington in Shropshire, really good beer. Oh yeah, the fortune we spent in nightclubs when we were young. If I think about the money that I drank and then, as my dad would say, weed up the wall, yeah, it scares me. I mean, thinking back when I was a student, you'd think nothing of like spending £100 on a weekend, and New Year was like £100 night out. What with taxes and everything else, it was just crazy. God, I could have my farm and everything now if I'd have just saved that money, but then I wouldn't have enjoyed life as much. So kind of got to weigh it up, really, haven't you? No regrets, as the saying goes. No internet forums usually. I imagine you're on about for New Year. No, can't see me doing a YouTube thing on New Year, to be honest. I do want to vlog a lot more, yeah, in 2019, and I'm not going to do. I've actually just made a video about this, so I won't spoil it. So I've just got to edit it and put it together. But cutting a long story short, my channel is Ross Minton, so it's not like X's allotment or X's kitchen garden. It's Ross Minton, and although most of my vlogs and stuff are based on the allotment and about growing, I do want to get more of my hobbies in there. I looked back at some of my videos the other day, and my highest rating video is a video I did fishing. It's got like 2,000 views or something. 2,000 people watching me fish, and it was a pretty good day actually. Caught like 5 barbel, so I was quite happy with that. So I thought, well, why not? I will, and it's not like the vain thing of I want people to watch me. It's just I really enjoy doing YouTube. I really enjoy making these vlogs. And you do get a little bit of something back when you get interaction with people, because you think, oh, I'm doing something and people like this, so I keep doing it. So it kind of like spurs you on to make the next one in like a weird kind of way. So yeah, so next year it will be do more vlogs about other aspects of my life, other aspects of my hobbies, but they will be separate. So like if you're a gardener and you only watch me for gardening, that's cool, keep doing it. And when you log on, you will see a thumbnail which will have gardening, allotment, sowing seeds, whatever, and it'll be crystal clear that that video is about my allotment. But then a couple of days later there might be a video of me fishing, and that'll be a completely different thumbnail. It will clearly say in the title fishing, and you know, well, I don't like fishing, so I don't need to watch that one. I'll just watch Ross's allotment one. But then there might be some of you that think, hang on a second, I've never fished, no interest in fishing. Oh, I like Ross, I might watch his video on fishing, and you never know. Like 6 months later, you'll be out down the fishing tackle shop buying fishing rods, fishing in your local lake, which would be really cool if I could get someone who's never been fishing to go fishing. I might actually have to do a thing where, oh, it was just a flash. It was really bizarre. Must be the TV. Sorry. I might have to do a thing where I take someone fishing for the day, because I'm a member of a club and we've got some really, really cool waters. We've got like some like almost like Capability Brown landscaped lakes on, you know, 13th century, you know, medieval halls and things like that. There's some National Trust River. There's some really good fishing places. There's like one of the rivers that I fish in my fishing video next to the Severn Valley Railway, so you get steam trains go past all the time, and it's like a really popular barbel fishing spot. People have like come from all over England to fish that bit of river, and it's about 25 minutes from my house, and I'm a member of the club who fishes it. So I might have to do a video and get some of you guys to come fishing with me. You know, like get yourself to Telford, I'll sort you out bait, fishing rod, and you can come fishing for the day. So that'd be quite awesome. That'd be quite a nice little take on the way my vlogs are going. But again, I digress, and then I jump onto the comments. Hi Roland. By the way, if I haven't said hello to you, hello. So many different ones pop up, I haven't seen everyone's name. Oh, so Nick's never been fishing. And I can't remember where you live now, Nick. Can't remember if you're near to me or not. I mean, obviously, don't give me your address. There's some kind of weirdo can stalk you, but pop your county or whatever in there, and have to figure out to see if it's doable. We could have like a merger of channels, and I could take you fishing for the day. Yeah, that would be quite cool. That would. Yeah, definitely catch you a fish or two. I'd put money on it. Flintshire. That's Wales, isn't it? Is that Wales? I want to say Wales. Is it Wales? Oh, I'm waiting for the reply. Now I look stupid. Feel like countdown. Do-do, do-do, do-do-do-do. Ha, North Wales, there it is. Yeah, thought it was. So yeah, anyway, somebody asked me fly fishing or coarse fishing mainly, barbel, tench. I don't mind carp fishing, but it's not really for me. I like the smallest fish species, to be perfectly honest. But I have a 100% fly fishing record when it comes to game fish. I've been fly fishing once. I went to one venue and I caught one trout. So that's it. I can retire knowing I am the best game fisherman in the world with a 100% record. But I have, and this is, so I don't like carp fishing, slight lie. Have you ever caught a carp on a fly rod? Because there's a pool by me where every now and again in the summer I take the fly rod up with some deer hair flies, and you catch, I don't know, an 8-pound carp on a fly rod on a 6 weight. I tell you what, it's the most exciting thing you've ever done. It's like, I'm probably boring the people that don't know about fishing now, so I'll quickly skip over it. But it's, you see these videos when they're like in Barbados and they get a fish and it screams off and it's all exciting, and Robson Green does it. It's like that. So if you're a fly fisherman and you've never done it, and obviously fly fishing for trout and salmon's expensive, get down your local lake where there's carp and catch a carp on a fly rod. It's epic, absolutely epic. Oh, Telford's an hour away. That's more than doable. Well volunteered. I need a definite answer, yes or no. Will you at some point come fishing with me in 2019? You just need to bring yourself some food. And that's it, really. Yeah. Yes. There we go then. There's a crossover vlog right there. That gives me something to aim for. Yeah, definitely get you on to catch a fish or two. Yeah. I'm happy now, I'm made up, I'm chuffed. It's almost time for another Jack Daniels. No, I'm not going to have another one. Right, people, I've been on here quite a while now. 43 minutes. Do you know, I thought this would last about 20 minutes. And I've rambled on about stuff. But what I will do is I will give it 3-4 more minutes. If there's any questions, then ping them over, I'll answer them. I'll answer pretty much anything, really. And then I'm going to log off. And then I'm going to have a beer. Was this my first live? No, I've done a couple actually, but they've normally just been down the allotment when I've been bored and something, I don't know, exciting's happened, or it's been Christmas, and I just thought, get the camera out, do a live. It lasts 3-4 minutes. It instantly uploads. I haven't got to edit it, and it's content really. That's the way I see it. Is it's another vlog. It's another. Excuse me. It's another vlog. It's another diary entry, which is the whole reason I started YouTubing in the first place, was just to keep a diary of my allotment and a diary of things I did. I think my first ever YouTube video was one of me fishing for tench in the winter, and the idea was I was going to blog about my fishing all the time, and I vlogged and I did this video and it was alright, and then I literally did nothing for about a year, and the channel just sat there with like one video on it. And then eventually I was down the allotment and I was just filming, and I was like, I can't keep a diary because I'm dyslexic and the whole writing thing, I never do it, I don't want to write it. Anyway, so I thought, I'm going to video where I put these seeds, so I videoed it, and then my phone got full, and I was like, got to take all these videos off my phone, where am I going to put them? I don't want to put them on my laptop because it'll fill my laptop up. Oh, I'll stick them on YouTube, it's free. And I thought, well, YouTube can be like free data storage for my videos. And then I realised people were watching them. And I thought, I might carry on doing this. and it kind of snowballed from there. Worst Christmas present I could receive, honestly, Man United or an Everton shirt. I would burn it in my garden, and I would dance around it naked while, I don't know, sacrificing a chicken. That's how much it would be a bad Christmas present. And you should be able to guess who I support from that. So brave being on camera. As you can probably guess, I am not scared of talking, and that is down to probably my training in graphic design, because I had a really good uni lecturer, a guy called Andy Butler, and he's going to be immortalised now forever on YouTube. Andy Butler, Shrewsbury College of Arts and Technology, the best graphics teacher anyone could have. Awesome guy. And sadly, Andy would probably never get a job in today's day and age, because he was a guy who had been out in the world, he'd done it, and then he went into teaching. And I think he probably had very few qualifications, but he actually had, you know, decades of experience. But anyway, he made us all do a critique. So we were straight out of school, in college. He made us all do a critique with our work at the end of every project. So we had to stand up in front of the class, and we had to say what we'd done, why we'd done it, what our ideas were around it, and then he would make the other people in the class critique your work in front of you. And this sounds cruel, doesn't it? And their job was to pick out any fault with it, tell you where they'd have done it better, or tell you where it was good, and this and the other. But obviously, as you can imagine, teenagers, there was a lot of critiquing going on. And to start with, we hated it. And he said to us, he goes, in the real world, he says, you're going to get this. He says, your boss is going to give you grief. The client's going to give you grief. He says, people on the street are going to give you grief. Why have you done this? Why have you done that? Why have you chose that colour? Why have you done this typeface? Why those lines? Why this? Why that? He says, the best way to learn, he goes, is to do. So from that, we went on to talking in classes and talking in front of the whole college. And then later on, that stubby at Gunstef University, I'd always, when they ever said, anyone want to go first, I just stick my hand up and get this out of the way. Like, so I'm quite happy talking to the camera, talking to normal people in the street, and to be perfectly honest, if you'd given me a microphone and put 2,000 people in front of me, I'm going wrong, I'd be nervous, because who wouldn't? It'd be silly, but I'd do it because, you know, I'm so used to it now, you know, because I'm used to standing there as part of my job and selling a design to somebody and saying, we're doing this, 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 and this, because this, and this, and these are my ideas, and in my head it's like, I don't really care what you think, these are my ideas, you can either like them or don't like them, but either way, it doesn't bother me. If you don't like them, we move on, try something new. If you like them, win-win, don't have to do any more work. So I'm kind of used to talking now. My other half would say I talk too much. She's probably upstairs listening to this, laughing her head off. Yeah, people say about being too nervous, they say you should picture your audience in their pants. That would just make me laugh. So no. What I found, one tip for talking to people, and I do it with the camera, is, and it's the same when if you're in a room, and if ever you got to do a meeting at work and you've got to present something to someone, you talk to somebody. You don't talk to the room, you talk to somebody in the room. So if I've got 30 people, in front of me, and you want to tell me the benefits of growing carrots, I would, like, point number one, I would talk to this person there, and I say to them, well, the good thing about carrots is blah 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 blah, this, that, and the other. And then point number two, I would turn to another person and I'd say, and the second best thing about carrots is that blah blah blah, they're orange, rabbits like them, they're really good for you, blah blah blah. And then you might look at another person and you talk. So in the end, you're talking to individuals, you're not talking to the room. But yeah, I digress. And I do that with the camera. I talk to myself because I can see me, I can see the lens, so I talk to me. So and in turn I talk to you. So that's it really. Yeah, I suppose it's awkward when it's personal and it's selling your ideas. I suppose I don't know your job at the NHS, but being a graphic designer, us creatives, and I don't mean that to sound really pretentious, but we're a weird breed because, and I don't. It's not that people don't put their soul into whatever work they do. You know, if they're a plumber, they do it to the best of their ability, and a bin man, and as I've always said to my son, you know, I don't care what you be when you're older, to try and be the best you can be. If you want to be a bin man, be a bin man. Just be the best bin man you can be. So I'm not. It's not about like different jobs. It's more stressful or anything like that. But us creatives, we're really strange in the way that without the right training, and obviously Andy was teaching us when we were like, I was 16 because I left school at 15 because when my birthday fell. So I was like 16 and doing like critiques at college. I mean, some people don't do it now until university, which is like 18, 19. Excuse me. But the whole point I'm trying to get to is sometimes with a creative, you get like attached to this piece of work, this logo, this advertisement, this web banner, and it's almost like it's like your child. I mean, a lot of us, some people have probably heard this before. Excuse me. Probably time for more Jack Daniels. Some people have probably heard this before, but we call it our baby, and people will say, "Oh, that logo, was that your baby?" And that's kind of how we feel about it. And so it can be quite personal, and it's about like kind of getting past that. And the way I see the whole YouTube channel is that it is personal, but it's just another creative outlet for me. So I treat it like a critique. It's like I've always said to people, give me a thumbs up, that's amazing. Subscribe to me, that's amazing. Give me a thumbs down. You know, honestly, I don't really care. I'm past that to the point now where I'm used to negative comments from my job, and negativity isn't a bad thing. I mean, it helps you improve. I mean, if someone comes on here and say, "Ross, you ramble on too much. You know, you always adjusting your glasses. You're always doing this with your hair and whatever." It's like, fair enough. Good point. I probably am, and you're right. I could probably do that better. So thumbs downs and things like that and personal things don't really bother me really too much. I'd rather have some interaction and improve on it than not. So it's personal. It's probably better that it's personal. That's the way I see it. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe that's not right. So just me spitballing here, as the old Americans would say. That's true about what you say about creatives being introverts. Um, I'm clearly not, but sometimes creatives can be a bit like comedians, and they always see it's like the tears of a clown, isn't it? A clown can be the joker of the party, but once the party goes away, they're the saddest person around, and it can be the way in. I honestly believe, this is God's honest truth, because I'm dyslexic, and I know that I'm creative because I'm dyslexic. My dyslexic is my enigma. If I wasn't dyslexic, I probably wouldn't be creative, because obviously your brain works differently. I won't bore you with the details, but it's true. Some of the greatest people, and I'm not saying I'm great, but some of the geniuses of like our generation have been dyslexic. So because your brain splits differently. I also think that some creative people are probably a tiny little bit bipolar, and this is not a knock at the bipolar people. Please don't take it that way, but it's almost like you can have ups and downs. You can you really ride those highs, and then you can get those lows, and it's like it can really knock you for, you know, an hour, a minute, a day, whatever it is. And yeah, we are strange, us creative types. Ah, Barbara, thank you for the sub. That's awesome. Sorry, just reading the comments. Kathy West, yes, you were sub number 10. And I don't think you ever got those poppy seeds from me, did you? I did send them. I'm just pouring myself another JD. This one's for you, Kathy, one of my first subs. And then I later found out with those poppy seeds that they were probably confiscated and incinerated at the airport, because apparently I shouldn't have sent them. And I'm just glad I didn't put a returns address. I'd have probably got some kind of fine from your forestry commission for trying to import British poppies into America. Yeah, I know for next time. So yeah, apparently I can't send seeds to America. Didn't know that way back then. Oops. It's probably some, let's just hope they did burn them. More like parts of America are now going to have these oriental poppies just popping up everywhere. They're like, where did they come from? And then they'll go through YouTube and they'll see them growing in my garden, and they're like, it was him. It was him. Burn the witch. Oh. I do like whiskey, but I have got a little bit of a sore throat, and whiskey really helps. Alternative smallholding, dyslexic too. I know, it's awesome. I did a piece of advertising years and years ago for the British Dyslexia Association. Didn't make that easy for dyslexics, did they? Can't spell it. And the piece of work was called The Enigma of Genius, and it was based around the whole idea that being dyslexic is a bit cryptic, but deep down there's obviously genius in it. And obviously it's a play because Alan Turing, who invented the Enigma machine, was also dyslexic. I think he was also possibly has Asperger's and things like that. But all those learning difficulties is what we call them in the UK. They're kind of linked in a way. So yeah, no, I get that. I get that. That's right, I like that. We're different, but we have a common goal to make good content. I really like that. That's an advertiser's phrase. That is. I could see that on the bottom of a strap line. I'd be proud of that one. Yeah, I've read that about IQs. Excuse me. I don't know. Alternative small holding. Again, are you in the States? Are you in America? Is that? I think you're in America, aren't you? Just wait for the reply. Because when I was in, what I was getting to is because when I was in university in the UK, we were told that. Oh, in the heart of the UK. No, I'm thinking of somebody else then. Ignore me. When I was at university, I was told that we couldn't do IQ tests being dyslexic because basically they're not an accurate measurement, so there was no point doing them. You have to do a special IQ test if you're dyslexic. They do problem solving tests and stuff with me to see how dyslexic I was. And my reading age is probably why I'm so slow on screen. My reading age when I was at university was that of an 8-year-old. So I can read, but I'm really slow at reading. But my problem solving ability was top 2% of the population. And like I see shapes differently. It probably helps with the whole graphic design thing. And I can puzzles and things like that. I just see them kind of like merge together. It's really weird. I explained it to someone that I kind of like see the world like with annotation to it. So if someone's trying to get a sofa into a house and they can't figure out how to get it in, I kind of like see the sofa, and the sofa like says move this corner here, move this corner here, and it kind of, I can see it in my head how it goes to the door. Really bizarre, I know, but if ever you want anyone to move a sofa, I'm your guy. Yeah, you did miss the 6 questions, 6 answers, but you can re-watch this if you want. The 6 questions, 6 answers was like the first 10 minutes, and the rest of it has been me babbling on. And oddly, the more babbling I do, the more people jump into the conversation and the more likes I get. So maybe this is the future. You know, this is me babbling, you know, and we're onto a good thing here. I like that comment about if you're smarter than your smartphone, you're onto a good thing. And that's, I can't think who the comedian was, and I'm going to steal the line. And it said, if you had a time machine, imagine going back to someone in the 1940s and telling them, I haven't got one, so I'm using it, and telling them you have a device in your pocket no bigger than a packet of cigarettes that has all the answers to all the questions that man knows, and we use it to look at photos of cats. Yeah. Sometimes you wonder whether technology is a good thing or if it's just dumbing us down. I think Darwin was onto something. I think we should have a little bit more of survival of the fittest. I often joke that health and safety has a lot to answer for, because thanks to hard hats, high vis, steel toe cap boots, and people going around saying you can't do this, you can't do that, I believe that probably about 25% of the population 100 years ago would have killed themselves off by now, therefore taking themselves out of the gene pool, and we'd have less stupid people. You know, it's a joke, don't take me too seriously. Or is it? Think about it. Yeah, they would think. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine going back to like the Middle Ages and like having a conversation with Henry VIII and him saying like, "Where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from 2018. Oh, tell me all about it." And you were like, "Okay, here goes. We can fly around the world in 24 hours." You know, and you'd just be nailed to a stake and, you know, doused in goose fat and lit up like a Christmas tree. Yes, natural selection, health and safety has a lot to answer for. Right, people, I've done an hour and 3 minutes, and as much as I could probably sit here and talk for ages, I probably should really go, just so I can drink more JD, rest my voice a bit, and I've got a day down the allotment tomorrow. I've cleared my greenhouse out, video to come, so sneak peek of that. Clean my greenhouse out, ready to get seed sowing, so I want leeks and onions to go in there. I set my rat traps because I've had a rat, and again, that's in the video. Drove me mad, absolutely mad, but I'll save that for the video. And I also want to have a look at my second greenhouse and seeing if I can get the frame up on my own. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I'll see how I feel tomorrow morning. But yeah, so I'm going to be off, rest my voice. Just have one quick look. Cheers, guys. It seems to be all the comments seems to be saying thank you and everything. Thank you to everyone for subbing. Thank you to the likes. I've got 8 likes and 10 people watching. That's awesome. I think that's my biggest live stream yet. I might do these more often. I'm not going to do them weekly, I think, because obviously I don't have enough subs to warrant that, and I'll probably bore you all to death. So, but it could turn into a monthly thing. So in case I don't do a live stream or another video between now and New Year, because I'm currently editing footage, I would like to say to everyone, thank you for subbing, thank you for watching, have an awesome 2019. Thank you to Brian at Allotment Life for nominating me, and I've got to nominate somebody. So I'm going to nominate, I don't know who's done it. Dun, dun, dun. Do you know what? I'm going to nominate all 10 people that have watched this live stream. And it doesn't matter if you haven't got a YouTube channel or not. Alright? What you've got to do is you've either got to steal a phone from somebody, either mug an old lady, no, don't do that, either get your grandkids round and steal their phone, get your own smartphone, stick it up on the bookcase, film yourself answering the 6 questions, which are best crop of 2018, worst crop of 2018, lessons learned, biggest challenge, plans for 2019, and who inspired me. So all 10 of you that have watched this, get your smartphones out and do it. Stick it on YouTube, and even if you haven't got a channel, make that your first video. See how it goes. Okay. Happy New Year, everyone. Take care. All the best. And I've now got to figure out a way of turning this thing off. See you guys.